ॐ वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य आणुस्तः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्भक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु भक्तारमवतु भक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। Om, may my speech be accorded with the mind. May my mind be accorded with the speech. O self-effulgent one Brahman, reveal thyself to me. May you both, speech and mind, be the carriers of the highest truth to me. May not all that I have heard depart from me. May I be able to join day and night through this study. I shall utter what is verbally true. I shall utter what is mentally true. May that Brahman protect me. May that Brahman protect the teacher. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto you all. Good morning. This morning, I am going to speak on a very interesting but important subject, obviously in day-to-day life and in our spiritual life. Why should we be good? From our childhood, we have been listening only one instruction and advice from our seniors. Be good and do good. We did not like sometimes. We don't know whether we are good or not, but we did not always accept the advice to do good. There are two things. One, ought to be done. We should do it. And the second is, we like it. I like it, that's why I am doing it. I do not like it, so I don't want to do it. The conflict is what ought to be done and what I am doing. Here is the conflict. So all these things are under the study of ethics. Generally, we use the term ethics and morality almost synonymous. We think that it is a synonymous term. What is morality? That is ethics, all are same. But morality and ethics are not synonymous. These are completely two different things. Morality is the way of life. We can practice it. It is connected with some values. And the goal is to lead a meaningful social, spiritual, and cultural life. On the other hand, ethics is a study. It is a science. It is a study on morality. ethics is completely intellectual discipline, not the practice in day-to-day life. Its goal is to gain knowledge about moral problems and sort them out in a right way. Swami Vivekananda was a spiritual person or religious person. Most of us know that Swami Vivekananda's contribution is on religion and spirituality, and he was the forerunner of yoga who brought the science of yoga in this country from India. But most of us don't know that he was a multifaceted genius, and his contribution towards morality and ethics, which is called also, ethics is called moral philosophy, is immense. We all know that earth cannot be changed. We always think about, the changing of earth. There is war, there is calamities, there is lots of things are going on in this earth, even this country. Only yesterday, 10 people were killed. There was a shootout in Buffalo. So everything is going on. So these all are actually, if we do not change our conscience, this world cannot be changed. We all talk, thousands of discussions across the table, but each individual, if we cannot change myself, world cannot be changed. That's for sure. We are actually trying to change others. We advise to change others. Do not want to change us. We forget about us when we advise others. Our concentration is towards other people and not on us. That is why the problem is. However, this morning I am going to discuss and show you the solution that Swami Vivekananda suggested on the field of ethics and morality. I will emphasize mainly on morality, not too much in ethics, because ethics is a science and it is a study. So I don't want to go different theories and informations from different philosophers. I don't want to puzzle your head with all these information. Morality is connected with our spiritual development. So that's why I would like to concentrate on morality, our day-to-day practice, rather than ethical study or academic study, which sometimes has no connection with our life. Whether one problem is axiological or ontological or axiological, we don't know. Epistemological, axiological or ontological, there is no connection of all those things with our life. When Swami Vivekananda returned to India after visiting this country, after his monumental success in Parliament of Religions in Chicago in 1893, he traveled from southern part. He embarked in the southern coast of India when he returned by ship. He returned by ship, and he embarked in the southern coast of India, and from there he traveled to the north end of India, to the Himalayas, traveled the whole country. Swami Vivekananda at least traveled 3 times the length and breadth of India. So here also, after returning from this country, Swami Vivekananda traveled the whole India, including some parts of Pakistan. He went to Lahore and he delivered 3 lectures in Lahore in 1897. One on Bhakti. The last one is the fantastic lecture. The first one, I am just forgetting the name of the first one. Second one was on Bhakti, and the third one was on Vedanta. Fantastic lecture. Few lectures. Actually, when I joined in this order, we were advised to read Swamiji's few lectures. Lahore lecture is one of that. Number of times I heard from seniors like Ranganathanandaji. If you hear Swami Ranganathanandaji's lecture, number of times he quoted from Lahore lecture. Then 5 lectures of Madras. Swami Vivekananda's Navaratri, 9 days. Swami Vivekananda stayed in Madras, now Chennai, after returning from this country, and he delivered 5 lectures. The 5 lectures were gem. So all those 5 lectures is worth reading. However, in Lahore lecture in 1897, just after returning from this country, he said, every religion preaches that the essence of all morality is to do well to others. And why? Be unselfish. But what should we? Some God has said it. Some texts have declared it. Let them all tell it. And if they do, what is it to me? What is the reason that I should be moral? Very logical. Swami Vivekananda was not the armchair philosophers. Rational, pragmatic, and want to see things face to face. That's why he loudly proclaimed that religion is realization, and Vedanta is the science of spirituality. Now we divide, the religion. We are spiritual and not religious. So, spiritual. Let us see what other religions they say on morality. Christianity. In medieval Europe, ethical thinking was completely dominated by Christian theology until Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant's tenure was 1724 to 1804. Because Immanuel Kant, he shook the foundation of Christian theology. Not only that, if we are familiar with Western philosophy, we know that Immanuel Kant was the rebellion child in Western philosophy. Completely different idea he propagated. Christianity believed that moral was something external imposed upon a human being by God. If you study the history of Christianity, you can find there were 3 covenants. Covenants means contact. The first covenant was with Abraham, and it was violated. Then second covenant with God was with Moses. It was violated. And then the third covenant was with Jesus Christ. And we know the theology of redemption. However, the point is this: it is a covenant, contract, or instruction from God, commandment. Additionally, the impact of original sin is also there. I saw it is little bit, the analysis is little bit modern nowadays, and it is said that because of original sin, although original sin was redeemed, but because of original sin, we have some kind of inclination towards evil. Original sin is redeemed, but we have some inclination towards doing some evil things because of that. And we find some new idea also why we should be moral, because we would get freedom. And what we will do with freedom? With freedom, we will say yes to God. Means we will follow the commandment of God. This is Christian concept of ethics and morality. Islam. According to Islam, we should be moral. Otherwise, we will be punished by God unless we follow some code of conduct. We will be punished, and if we think carefully, we can see it is also some code of conduct. So you have to follow 1, 2, 3, 4. Otherwise, you will be punished. You will not go to the heaven. Buddhism is very ethical religion, and Buddhism says that if you don't do Shila, Pancha Shila, 5 Shilas, if you do not follow these 5 Shilas or 8 steps or the 4 noble truth, then the karmic consequence will work on you. Karmic consequence means work, the fruits of work. If I do good things, the fruits will come good. If I do evil things, the fruit will come the bad. So, karmic consequences. This is the concept of we must be moral, because otherwise we have to suffer by our karmic consequences. Then the traditional Hinduism. Traditional Hinduism also follow this karmic theory, means the work theory as Buddhism. Yes, if I do not follow, there are few yajnas, mainly dharma. Under dharma is a huge umbrella, traditional Hinduism. And under this umbrella, there are 2 things are coming, which afterwards merge with dharma. So 2 things. One is ritam. Ritam is the systematic regulation of nature, and another is yajna. So the sacrifice. If we don't do sacrifice, there was 5 kind of sacrifices prescribed in the scripture, which everybody should perform. If we do not perform those 5 sacrifices, so this karmic residual, the karmic consequence will affect us. So that is the concept of traditional Hindu suggestion. Now let us see. These are the things. One thing is common to all the religions, and that is something told from outside. Here is a karmic result, karmic consequence. If you don't do that, this will impact you. Here is the code of conduct. If you don't do it, see, this will impact on you. If we don't follow this kind of instruction of our God, then you have this kind of punishment. So all the religions, they have something coming from outside, and those are some code of conduct, or it is something which is given pounds over somebody, like a weight, giving from outside. This is the common, imposed something. Let us see what Swami Vivekananda's concept and remarks on this. He already raised the question, why should we be moral? What is that? Because otherwise God will not love us? Or otherwise we shall not go to the heaven? Or we will suffer? But what we are seeing in reality, the people, those who are following the evil means, they are thriving. I am only say that I am good people, I am pious, I did not do any harm to anybody, I was very good, I am pious, I do prayer and worship every day, but I am suffering. See, somebody else, they are following the evil means and they are thriving. It is the reality. So why should I be moral? Why should I be good? Swami Vivekananda raised this question very clearly. He said, each religion has its own morality. This is another side. All are saying that yes, you must be moral, but each religion has its own concept of morality. And these are not tallying with each other. My morality will harm another person. That is against to your morality. Let us see. Each religion has its own system of ethics and morality. Swami Vivekananda tried to find some common basis of ethics, because otherwise my ethics is contradictory. It is conflicting with your ethics. Swamiji says in this regard, we all know about morality and we all know about duty. The same thing. What is the problem in morality and ethics? The same problem we have in duty also. Because duty is nothing but to application of ethics and morality. But at the same time we find that in different countries, the significance of morality varies greatly. What is regarded as moral in one country may in another be considered perfectly immoral. For instance, in one country, cousins may marry. In another, it is thought to be very immoral, and so forth. Similarly, in all other departments of morality, we find that standard varies greatly. Yet, we have the idea that there must be a universal standard of morality. If there is no something universal standard of morality, then how, if it is a code of conduct, then how can we follow? Because it varies greatly. In some country, eating beef is immoral. But in some country, eating pork is immoral. So, how can we say that this is the best ethics or morality if we do not have some common basis of ethics and morality? So is the duty. In the place of duty, you can find this contradiction from place to place and from religion to religion. In another place, he states, this world is a mixture of good and evil, he said. Can you confirm or can you assure that this is 100% good? Nothing in this country, it is a, Swamiji in different places, he said, it is a utopian concept. Ramchandra was there, So, in Ramchandra's country, nothing was bad, everything was good. Can you assure it? Don't you think it is a utopian concept? There was no any bad people in Ramchandra's Ayodhya. So, the whole thing is the combination of good and evil, the happiness and misery. There is nowhere you can find that everything is only happiness. There will never be a perfectly good or bad world, because the very idea is a contradiction in term. Everything is good, no bad is there. It is a kind of utopian idea. Where there is good, there is bad. Can you find, in Buddhism, there is a story that a lady who lost her son recently came to Buddha because she was very sad. Then she said, Buddha, please return my son. You know the spirituality and you have the power. So he was my only son. Please return my son. Then Buddha said, okay, I shall return your son. But can you find from any place in this universe where death has not entered? In any family where there was no death, go and bring only one grain from that house where death has not entered. The lady was very happy. He thought that, okay, I shall bring that and then I get my son. So she went, roamed everywhere, but she could not find a single grain from the house where death has not entered. So this is the thing. No, there is no place, no human being that is completely good and completely, because good and bad, happiness and sorrow are the opposite side of a same coin. If you have to accept good, you have to accept bad, because It is the other side of the coin. You have to accept the coin. That is what he said, that the great secret revealed by this analysis is that good and bad are not two cut and dried separate existence. The same thing which is producing misery in one may produce happiness in another. The same thing, to me, it produces happiness. To you, it produces suffering. Take the example, the fire. The fire that burns the child. And again the fire. It can cook a good food for striving man. So in one side, fire is doing good thing, another thing is burning the people. So Swamiji could understand that a system of ethics becomes universal. So which ethics, which code of conduct I shall follow? It is a completely confusing thing. If I say good, 1,000 questions may be raised. What kind of good? Good for whom? How it is good? It is good for intention or good for doing? There are two things. If we study ethics, the ethics has two components. One is good in being and good in doing. You are doing good things, but you are, as a person, you are not a good person. It is easily can be proved. Or some are doing bad things. If a person kills another person to save one's life, what you will say? It is good or bad? For good of many, if some life, say, take the example of Kurukshetra, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, that was a huge battle. Don't you think some good people, those who are not connected with all this kind of property quarreling, they died in that battle? Yes, obviously. What happens with that? So how you can justify those things? So it is very difficult to justify in this code of conduct the intention, good as being as a person and good as doing. It is always there is a conflict between being and doing. So what is the problem? What we can do? Swamiji could understand that a system of ethics becomes universally accepted only when it is supported by a universally acceptable metaphysics. If there is no metaphysics, means spirituality. Metaphysics means, meta means beyond. Physics is the worldly things. All are physical things. So physics is worldly things. Meta means beyond. Metaphysics means beyond worldly things, beyond physics. So that means it is transcendental. So Swamiji understood that unless some metaphysical universal, if we make ethics or morality universal, then there must be a universal metaphysics behind the ethics, must be the basis of that ethics. Otherwise, the ethics or morality cannot be universal. We all cannot accept that. It will be sectarial, or for some area, for some religion. It cannot be universal. Unless we make it universal, we cannot solve the fight or quarrel. So what is that universal maybe? And he understood that that must be supported by some universal metaphysical principles. Aristotle, you see, Aristotle's ethics was based on his metaphysics. See Karl Marx, he was a philosopher, and he has ethics. He was great ethical leader, and he has his concept of ethics regarding the labor and the capitalist. What should be the ethics? So his ethics was also based on metaphysics. Swami Vivekananda's ethical concepts were based on ancient system of metaphysics which is called Vedanta. And what is that? Speaking about that Vedanta, the need to have a strong metaphysical foundation on ethics, Swami Vivekananda says, my idea is to show that the highest ideal of morality and unselfishness goes hand in hand with the highest metaphysical conception. He took the point of unselfishness. All the religions of the world accept the unselfishness is good and ethical. So he says that the unselfishness and the strong universal metaphysical concept goes hand in hand. And that should be the basis of morality and ethics. You must have the highest philosophical and scientific conceptions. He said, whatever may be the philosophical height, we say, okay, most of our devotees, when we speak about following some instructions or directions from the scripture, they say, oh, you see, we are simply household. How can we follow this? It is not for us. Swami Vivekananda, he could follow those things. We cannot. You see, those are the great persons. They can follow those instructions, those principles. We are simple household, How can we follow that? Very clearly, Swami Vivekananda said, very strict on this particular point. He said that you need not lower your conception to get ethics and morality. Again I repeat, you need not lower your conception to get ethics and morality. Conception must not be lower. On the other hand, to reach a real basis of morality and ethics, you must have the highest philosophical and scientific conception. In other words, you cannot compromise with the principles of ethics and morality. You take yourself up to the height. You must not bring down the ethics and the principles of ethics and morality at your level. You cannot and must not. You take yourself to the height of ethics and morality. Very clear. Whatever height that ethics and morality might have, you cannot and must not compromise with the principles of ethics and morality. He said, you should elevate yourself to the higher standard of philosophy. Thus, Vedanta, as interpreted by Vivekananda, is not a religion in a narrow sectarian or dogmatic sense. It is generally used as a principles, philosophy, the science, and the way of life based on universal principles which may be tested, verified by anyone in his life. So that is the ethics and morality Swami Vivekananda suggested, which is tested, verified, scientific, and universal. Which is universal, everybody can accept and everybody can practice. Let us explain these things a little bit. What is the opposed to morality? It is very clear. Generally it is said, according to Indian philosophy, the 6 dominic inclination. In Sanskrit it is called Shada Ripu. 6. Shada means 6. Ripu means the dominic inclination that we should not practice. What are they? Kama, desire. Krodha, anger. Love, greed. Lobha, greed. Mada, anger. Moha, arrogance or pride. And misery, the matsarya or miserliness. These are the 3 demonic inclination. Anger, arrogance, pride, all these things. 6. These are anti-ethical. Means these are unethical and immoral. When do we act according to 6 dominic inclination? Why? Because these are opposed to morality. But we do it. When? We do it at the time when we find our desire or self-interest has been compromised. We do it when we find that we have to compromise to fulfill our desire or our self-interest. Then we forget everything and act according to the prompts which come from within ourselves. In this context, Duryodhana's comments is very important. In Mahabharata, Duryodhana said, Janami dharma nachame pravritti. Janami adharma nachame nivritti. Kenapi deveno hridisthiteno jatha nijuktosmi tatha karomi. First 2 sentences are very easy. Janami dharma nachame pravritti. I know what is righteous or dharma, but I am unable to practice it. I know what is good. That is our case, Everyone we know what is right, what is wrong. We all know it. But we are unable to do it. Then he said, Janami adharma nachame nivritti. I know what is evil practice. I know what is bad. But I cannot refrain. I cannot control myself not doing that. Why? Why you cannot do the good things? Why you cannot resist yourself to not doing these evil things? He said, Kenapi deveno hridisthiteno. I don't know. It seems somebody, Kenapi deveno, somebody sitting, hridisthiteno, somebody is in my heart, sitting in my heart, jatha nijuktosmi tatha karomi, where he is appointing me and how he is appointing me, I am doing that. I don't know. I know this is right. I know this is wrong. But I am not doing right things. I am stopping my evil deeds. Why? Because somebody is sitting within me and he is appointing me to do this. I am a puppet. I have no control. I don't know what is happening. Duryodhana said this. What does it mean? How to weigh out, if such is the condition, how to weigh out? The same thing, if you just now tally our condition with this condition, you can find that exactly this thing we are doing. We know what is good, what ought to be done, what not ought to be done, but we cannot control ourselves. We are doing this. So how to get rid of that? What is the way out? Because somebody is sitting inside and somebody is appointing us. To transform us from within by the help of deeper understanding from the right knowledge. If somebody is sitting inside, so we have to manage our inside for deeper understanding and right knowledge. So knowledge is required and deeper understanding is required. Then only we can manage these things. What is that knowledge? Here comes Swami Vivekananda and Vedanta. Swami Vivekananda applied the metaphysical concept, universal metaphysical concept, principle, as a basis or foundation of ethics and morality. Here comes this. This is the knowledge. Unless we have this knowledge, which is universal, again, these are not code of conducts. I have already mentioned all religions of the world, they mention some code of conducts. But see, this is not code of conduct. Swamiji said, why should I do that? You should be unselfish. Why? Why you should be unselfish? To go to heaven? Because God instructed this? So this is the commandment, contract. Some from outside is just dumping on your shoulder. Just like the children, you have to follow that. Fear. What is that knowledge? Only one thing, very short. Vedanta says, oneness of existence. That's all. What does it mean? Oneness of existence? Everything is one. It means everything is one. What does it mean? A little bit more explanation. We are connected because everything is one. We are individual, but somewhere we are connected. Otherwise, how it can be one? I am different, you are different, you are different. So everybody here in this room are different entity. But if I say everything is one, that means somewhere we are connected. Where? Where we are connected? What is this knowledge, this oneness of existence? This knowledge is that we are the part of one single entity where we are connected. One single entity. There we all are connected. And this one single unity, because we are united there, connected, love is coming out from that. Expression of that one entity is love. Swami Vivekananda said, thus, true love is neither emotion nor feeling, but the experience of the identity of ourselves with Supreme Oneself. All individual selves are connected with one Supreme Self. And the experience of this connection is called love. And love, when this experience or love is directed to the universal self or God, it becomes bhakti. Hence, man's love for man and man's love for God, the same love, it is directed in two directions. It is inseparable, linked to each other. A person who hates one fellow man can never have true love for God. He wants to help each other, love each other, not because of love, but because of this oneness. I love you. It is not that because I am loving you, we are one. The other way around. We are one, that is why I love you. In Vedanta it is said that husband loves his wife. It is not because of husband love his wife, that is not the cause. The cause is we all are connected in the Supreme One, the oneness of existence. That is why love comes. And if we are directing this love in different direction, or if we want to fulfill this love by evil means, that's a separate story. But the love itself is holy, and it is because coming from the one Supreme Self and oneness of existence. Love generates because of this oneness of selves. The cause of love is oneness of existence and not oneness of existence because of love. Swami Vivekananda applied this principle to social life. As service to man is service to God. Swami Vivekananda also said, this expression of oneness is what we call love and sympathy, is the basis of all our ethics and morality. Unless you are unselfish and unless you have love, you cannot be moral. You can follow thousands of codes of conduct. You cannot be moral if you are not unselfish and you don't have love. And which is not coming from any code of conduct, which is coming from within, because we are connected with that one Supreme. We all are connected with one Supreme goal, which you can say God, which you can say Brahman, whatever you can call it. But the system, principle is this, and that is the basis of all our ethics and morality. If we can have the experience of knowledge of this unity, self is the part of one infinite Supreme Self, this experience of which the love, we will become moral. If we have this experience and have love, we are moral. Otherwise, we may follow what Duryodhana said. Another important point, and then I shall conclude. We do not follow the ethical path. Why? Because, or the moral values, because it will take a little time. We do not have any patience. How it is take one example. You are hungry and you have $5 in your pocket. The $5 is the value, So $5 is the value you have in your pocket and you are hungry. Do you think that this value you can satisfy your hunger? You cannot. Why? Because you cannot eat $5. What do you have to do? You have to buy some apple with this $5. Then you will eat this 5 apple and then you can satisfy yourself, satisfy your hunger. So see, there are steps. We cannot take truth is a value. If you speak always truth, what you will gain? If you tell a child, always speak the truth, don't steal, what you will say? He will see that if I steal, I can have a pencil. But if you don't steal, don't tell lie, what I am benefiting? Nothing. So value cannot directly convert it into benefit. $5 is a value. It cannot satisfy your hunger. You have to buy apple, then only you can satisfy your hunger. So there are steps by truth. You cannot get anything else. So it has some steps. Then only you can get direct benefit. From value we cannot get the direct benefit. We do not have this patience. You have to buy something and eat. We do not have that patience. You have to apply truth. Then only you can get some recognition in the society. People will understand you and then only you can get some benefit. We do not have that patience. That's why we do not follow the morality or ethics. So, Swami Vivekananda's ethics is not the code of conduct which is imposed from outside. It is based on universal metaphysical concept which is unselfishness and love. And this unselfishness and love is coming from within, because love is nothing but the oneness of existence. We all are connected with only one thing, that is the common point, oneness of existence. Love comes from there. That is the source of our love. Then it is percolated through our mind, brain and senses. Love becomes activated by our senses, mind, body, etc., etc. But the source of love is oneness of existence, and that is the basis of ethics and morality. That is why, so why should we be good? Because we are one. We should good not to go to heaven, not because God instructed us to do it, because we have no other alternative but to do it. You cannot say, no, I shall resist my love. You cannot. It will come. Love is embedded in you. It will come out. You cannot say. That is the basis of morality. And that is universal. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkham Apnuat, Sarvastarotu Durgani, Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu, Sarva Sadbuddhim Apnotu, Sarva Sarvatra Nandatu, Durjana Sajjano Bhuyat, Sajjana Shantimapnuat, Shantamucchete Bandhebhyo, Muktaschanyan Vimochayet. May all be happy, may all enjoy good health, may all see happy events, may all be freed from miseries, may all be freed from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bondages, may the freed make others free, may the Supreme Spirit, the presiding deity of all sacred activities, be satisfied, for He being pleased, the whole universe feels satisfied. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto you all.